Let's move on now to talk about some Transformers. Robots in disguise. Okay, so Transformer fans, sometimes I don't know whether to say you Transformer fans are winning, you're losing, or you're somewhere in between because it could really go either way, my friend. So, as you guys know, we talked about it just last week. The director of Transformers 1, he came out and admitted, because he's working on a new movie called I Eat Poop, real movie on the Clips channel. You can check it out. And he also said Paramount has no interest in doing a Transformers 1 sequel. It's dead. It's not happening. Sorry, guys. We tried. And that was a bummer. That was a bummer. Well, today we got the announcement of 5 different Transformer movies in the works. One of them with the Transformer 1 director and Michael Bay. So, looking at the article, because I think it came out from Puck, Transformer movies. Let me see if I can find the exact article. Michael Bay reportedly. Let me see if I can, because I know the Transformers hype guy. Transformers. What's that guy's? Transformers. Let me see if I can look that up. All right, so here we go. Let's look at one the list of the 5 films that are currently being worked on here. So here's a list of them. So the 5 Transformer movies are reportedly in development: a Michael Bay project, a live action film from Transformers 1 director, Transformers and GI Joe crossover, and 2 other ideas in early stages. Let me see here if I can get to that tweet. Give me a sec. I know I bookmarked it on my other Twitter. It's because they have the article, and I want to be able to read that to you guys. All right, perfect. Here we go. All right, so Transformers hype guy, always know he was there since day one, still keeping it up. And here's the article so I can read it for you guys. So what we have here, it says here for let's read actually the Transformers 1 guy first. So it says here Skydance it's 1 or 5 or so Transformer projects in development that David Ellison and Skydance will inherit if and when Paramount sale closes. Josh Cooley, who made last year's animated Transformers 1, just closed a deal to pursue a live action take. So let's talk about that one first. So I think it's kind of funny, and Transformer fans are confused. They're like, wait, why would they let him make another movie, but it's not Transformers 2 to the animated film? I think Paramount realized, unfortunately, because it's animated, a lot of people aren't showing up to it. They're not making as much money as they hope for with it. Fans don't want to see Transformers animated. They want to see them live action, big and whatnot. But I think they clearly see the value in this director and what he brought to it, because there was a lot of great stuff in that movie. The fight scenes, oh my God, dude, just look up Megatron versus Optimus in that movie and tell me you wouldn't go crazy to see a fight like that in live action. It looked great just in animated form. So I think it's cool that they recognize he's got something. He understands Transformers. He's got a good visual eye for it. Let's see what he can develop as a live action movie. No idea what it'll be. Maybe it could be a spiritual sequel to his Transformer animated film or whatnot. Okay, sure. But I'm glad they saw the value in what he brought to the franchise, and they didn't just toss him aside because it's like, hey, your movie didn't make money, buddy, so we're not giving you that film. It's like, we're still willing to work with you, but let's go live action because it looks like that's where the money is. All right, so there was that. And then we get here to the Michael Bay part. It says here, did you know that Michael Bay is developing a new Transformers movie at Paramount that he wants to direct? Bay, the auteur of explosions and upskirt shots that defined the first 5 mega grossers, had sworn off directing the franchise since Shia LaBeouf free Transformers The Last Night earned $600 million in 2027. It says here, yet the franchise has a trophy without Bay, and he himself has not reached those box office heights since even complaining recently about not being able to get movies greenlit. So this is an interesting turn for Michael Bay. And honestly, it is such a conflicting thing because right now you will see a lot of people hyped, a lot of people going crazy that it's like, yes, Michael Bay back. Get us Megan Fox, bring in Shia LaBeouf. The Michael Bay era is back. It's like I have a devil and a little angel on my shoulder because I see this 2 ways. Let's talk a little bit to the angel. All right. How you doing, honey? You a devil now, ain't you? All right. Looking at the positive side of Michael Bay coming back, there was definitely visual flair lacking in the Michael Bay movies without him. I like Bumblebee. I enjoyed Beast Wars, or what was it called? Rise of the Beast. But when watching those movies, you think to yourself, why don't these look as good as when Michael Bay was directing? Where is some of that, like that cinematography, that color grading, the explosions, the realism? It's like, sure, the story was lacking, but dude, did those movies look crispy? They look great. He knew how to direct a film. So I think bringing back that eye and that visual flair Michael Bay had for the Mayhem is something that maybe is missing. And we laugh at his last movie, the what you call it, Last Night was the Last Night box office, $605 million, which is at the low point of the Transformers career because most of his movies were hitting the $1 billion mark. And then you look at something like Rise of the Beast, for that, and that was in the 400 mark. So Paramount right now is like, we'd be happy to get Michael Bay's lowest earning Transformer movie right now, because even our highest non-Michael Bay movie is in the 400s. So we'll take a low Michael Bay movie over non one, and that's what they're thinking. But now talking to the devil. Yeah. All right. She's telling me a couple of things. I am not forgetting how much hate, how much scrutiny and criticism the Michael Bay movies got. And I'm not going to pretend like they were perfect. There is a reason those Transformer movies earned less and less money. And it was Michael Bay himself. I know people are going to disagree with me. I know people are going to get mad at me and want to talk nostalgia, because it's the funny thing now of the kids who grew up watching Transformers didn't care about, some of the racism in the second movie, weird things, or big old, Transformer balls on top of the pyramids in Egypt. They were like, oh, funny. Those are some balls, daddy, huh? They didn't care about none of that. They just like, hey, it's a fun movie with a hot lady. I'll watch this. They're all grown up now, and they just love those movies the same way I love Batman and Robin, even though I'm clearly aware it's a bad movie. But I saw it as a kid, right? And so that era of kids have grown up now, and that is their Transformers. That is what they want to see back. But I was there for it all. I saw each Michael Bay movie hurting the franchise more and more and more, to the point that we are to where we are now. I think there has to be that self-awareness with you, where it's a Zack Snyder effect. People were like, we got to bring Zack back. He's great. And I love Zack. Zack is also the reason DC is where it's at now. Why we still see them struggle. Why their movies earn less and less. Why Batman vs. Superman didn't crack $1 billion. Zack did that. I love you, Zack. You did great with the Justice League, but it tarnished the brand. And same with Michael Bay. So now to have gotten full circle, where the guy who brought the Transformers brand down is now looked at as the savior and the thing that can bring them back, is mind-blowing. It's ironic. I think it's crazy, don't you? Am I the only one that also sees this and whatnot? Yeah, look at this. I don't care. He's back. And yes, that's another thing we have to talk about. I know it'd be cool because I get it. I've always dug Shia LaBeouf. I saw him in Even Stevens growing up. I loved that show as a kid, and I thought he was very fun as Sam Witwicky when he was tweaking out in the second film. Yeah, he was doing that. Boy, dude, do you really, like, with all the stuff that he's done behind the scenes and whatnot, and the weird things about him, do you really are that desperate for the money to bring him back? I think you could probably do it without Shia, and I think they've also killed him in the main canon. Who knows if they'd keep that as part of the films? I think you could do it with just bringing Megan Fox back. But there is something to be said that when Shia LaBeouf stopped showing up in the movies, they earned less. So maybe that was it there. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting choice. If he is coming back, I would rather him do the G.I. Joe and Transformer movie. Because I still have that gut feeling that if you do G.I. Joe right, it could be a big hit. There's a lot of potential in there, and Michael Bay could probably have a lot of fun with the G.I. Joes, pairing them up with Transformers. So give Michael Bay the G.I. Joe Transformer crossover movie. I don't know what the live action Transformers 1 director would be doing, but it is funny. And again, this isn't a knock on Michael Bay. I like him a lot as a director. I think my favorite film of him is probably Pain and Gain. Believe it or not, Pain and Gain I think is really well, but he's done a lot of other great movies. I just think there's no denying the reason we are where we are with Transformers it's because we got dragged to that plot spot with Michael Bay. So now looking at him as the guy who's going to fix it all is just a little funny to me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what some people are saying. They don't care about good characters and a good story. They just want big robots fighting. See, I would believe you, but Rise of the Beast had that. They had some good fights. And Transformers 1 had amazing fights. Bumblebee's opening sequence, good stuff. They never got to that Michael Bay money. I think he's just got that extra little touch. And then I remember also too, for like his first 3 movies, they were always badly reviewed, but they were still making so much money. People were like, it's critic proof. Eventually those bad reviews caught up to them. You know, that's what I'm saying. So we'll see and whatnot. I don't want to be a hater because if I'm being honest, I would want Michael Bay's style back. I just hope the writing and the direction is better for it. Because last night and the last 2 movies he ended up directing, unless one of them is Rise of the Moon or whatever it was called, they were a slog to get through. It was just visual noise. And I'm like, what is happening? Oh, Cassim G's there. Cool. I haven't seen him in a while. That was a reaction I had watching one of the movies. But you guys let me know. I just think it's kind of funny to talk about.